Welcome students of class 9 to today's English literature class, chapter 4, The Portrait of a Lady, part 5. In the previous videos, we had studied about Khushwant Singh's grandmother, her appearance, how she lived with him in the village, the changes in her life when they came to the city, the distance that came between them as he became older, his going to the university, when he went abroad, his thoughts stating that the grandmother may not be there when he returns, the warm welcome he receives from her after 5 years, and her continuous prayer which he has been observing, the change in that schedule on the day of his return, all these things we have gone through in the previous videos. We now continue to see what happened as the grandmother beat the drums to welcome the homecoming warrior. So this is Khushwant Singh and his work, The Sunset Club. So the grandmother, in the previous video we had seen that the grandmother called the women from the neighborhood. She took the dilapidated drum which was sagging and which was old. She was literally beating the drum. Now, this is like, there is a comparison here I want to draw your attention to. This dilapidated means that which cannot be repaired. We studied that, isn't it? How was the drum? It was sagging. Sagging means loose, hanging loosely. All right? It is just like comparing it to an old, aged person, the wrinkled skin, some places of the skin hanging loose, all right, tired, worn out. They have reached their age of total old age and are now in a situation where they can just leave the world, right? So it is like describing his grandmother. When he's talking about the drum, there can be a comparison made here saying that when he went itself, he said, looking at her age, I don't know whether she'll be there when I get back. But he was surprised when he saw her receiving him at the station. She was the same as he had seen her 5 years back. She did not speak a word but hugged him. All right. And when they returned home, he saw that, when he saw that she was continuously praying, that day brought a change also because he saw she collected the women in the neighborhood, took out an old drum which was sagging, which was dilapidated, okay, and she started beating it as if to say, time has come now, my warrior is back. When do you beat a drum? When you are either very happy to mention something. So she wants to tell the world that her grandson has returned from his trip. Or she was going to explain to the others the time of her life, the end of her life is close. Okay? So she was trying to make an effort to beat the drum. And they had to persuade her and tell her not to overstrain. The next morning she was taken ill. It was mild fever and the doctor told us that it would go. After the day of that beating the drums, next morning she was ill, sick. And doctor said it's mild fever and it will go off. Nothing will happen. But my grandmother thought differently. What did she think? That this was the end of her life. She told us that her end was near. What did the doctor say? She'll become okay. What did the grandmother say? That her end was near. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray. So, she had now stopped praying. Why did she stop praying? The last few hours of her last chapter of her life. That means the last few days that were there. She knew she was going to leave this world. She was very clear about it. It was then she had already stopped praying. She was not going to waste any more time talking to us. And what was she going to do? She was not going to talk to us also. When you stop praying, you have to do something else. Her idea was not to talk to any of us. She just wanted to be with herself before she left. She had prayed till then, till such time that she knew that she is going to pass away. For those few hours, she did not pray, the last chapter of her life. And she did not want to waste her time also talking with any of us. We protested. Protested? We said nothing is going to happen to you. You are going to be fit and fine. But she ignored our protests. We went on saying you'll get better, you'll be okay, all that. But she ignored our protest. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. What was the meaning, children? In the previous lines we said she had stopped praying that day only. After her grandson came, she sang heartily, welcoming the warrior, and that day she had not prayed. Now she was in the bed praying. Praying, what is the difference here? She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. Telling her beads means just counting her beads. Counting while reciting. She was reciting. Praying means sometimes you pray, I want this, I want that, and all that, isn't it? So here she knew she had already reached the end of her life. She was not praying for anything now. She was just out of habit. She had already got into chanting and counting. Alright, the beads. She was doing that. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. They all said, nonsense, nothing is going to happen to you. Doctor has said it's a mild fever. But she was adamant and she knew that she is going. She had told them. And after that she carried on with herself. She was peaceful on the bed. In her hand she was holding the rosary and counting the beads. Even before we could suspect means get doubtful, her lips stopped moving. She was used continuously moving her lips, isn't it? That stopped. And the rosary from her hands fell down. A peaceful pallor spread on her face. Pallor means an unhealthy pale appearance. Absolutely tired. Just closed her eyes like that and she was silent over there. And we knew that she was dead. Pallor means an unhealthy pale appearance. Okay, so her face became peaceful, quiet. There was no movement. And we knew that she was dead. The sun was setting. How was it? Evening already. The sun was setting and had lit the room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. Blaze means you can see the light, correct? Blaze means shine. We stopped halfway in the courtyard. Grandmother is dead. They just went towards the courtyard. All over the veranda and her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff in the red shroud. Thousands of sparrows scattered on the floor. We stopped halfway in the courtyard. They couldn't move. Why? The whole group of sparrows, flock of birds, they were all there. They were all scattered on the floor. And some went up to her. They sat near her and She was wearing a red shroud or a cloak she was wearing. Completely till her bed, up to her bed, you could see the sparrows all lined up and sitting there. There was no chirruping. How was it every other day? We used to make loud noise. We felt sorry for the birds, and my mother fetched some bread for them. What did the mother do? She said, "Oh my God, these poor birds have come. This is the feeding time. Every day she feeds them at this time. Okay, I will make some bread pieces and give it to them." She broke it into little crumbs the way grandmother used to and threw it at them. The sparrows took no notice of the bread. What did they do? They didn't even see the bread. When we carried my grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly. Next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. Please understand this. There's a lot of meaning here, children. The sparrows took no notice of the bread. They had all come there as if to pay their last respects to that departed soul. Look at the gratitude of the birds. They all gathered there. If somebody dies, what do? We go and take a bouquet or all those things, flowers and wreath and all that, and place it at their feet. We stay till the body is taken away, isn't it? And then we get back home. Half of us don't have reverence. It's just that we want to show our presence there. Look at these birds. What sense of gratitude. They might have come there thinking that it's going to be a feed, but when they realized that the person who fed them was no more alive, they just sat there in utter silence. And when the body was taken off, they flew away quietly. They did not touch or see the bits of bread that were thrown for them. So when animals and birds have so much of reverence, have so much of gratitude, I think we as human beings have a lot to learn from this. This is gratitude. Have they gone to a school where they are taught about gratitude? To respect the dead, not to eat there, to be in silence? Have they been told? Has anybody to stand there and say, "Silence, don't make noise"? Nothing. It was sheer gratitude and love which the birds displayed. The same birds used to make so much of noise when she was alive trying to feed them. But when they knew that she is no more there, they maintained that discipline, that silence, did not look at the breadcrumbs when it was thrown at them. And when the corpse was taken off, they left quietly. What is corpse? Dead body. So here you have, this is the text, what you are reading, the portrait of a lady. See the picture there, written by Khushwant Singh. And here is truth, love and a little malice. To summarize, grandmother falling ill, the last chapter of her life, immersed in prayers, calm, peaceful death, the behavior of the sparrows. A quick few questions. Did the grandmother predict her death? How? How did the sparrows react to her earlier in life and later after death? What picture of the grandmother do you get from this lesson? What was the change in the behavior of the grandmother the day prior to her death? Give the meanings for the following: ignore, suspect, shroud, omitted, sparrows. The lesson is complete. we have the language activities which we shall continue in the next class.